Negotiations over. Sentence is harmless phosphorescence. Hello, everyone. This is your host, Thoreau Smiley, and welcome to the inside of my head. Who's joining me this week?
I'm Josh Cece, and I gotta let you know, losing your weapon in the line of duty, that's a fail. Not reporting to control, that's a fail. Paddling the school canoe, that's a fail. I'm still Josh Cece.
Well, I'm Brian Lesh, and I will absolutely debase myself for credits. And I'll be here when you're done. Don't worry.
For credits.
That's $1, Al.
I'm Alaric Weber, and your assessment starts now. As does mine.
Fail. Fail.
Ah, shit, I forgot my helmet.
So,
And this is Harmless Phosphorescence, the deep dive movie podcast where we pick a theme or series, we watch the movies, we gather some research into the production and the source material, and we tell you all about it. This show's brought to you by patrons. Patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. Our ride or dies. You can be one too. Go to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. We got a lot of bonus stuff there, and $1 a month is all you need to access it. We're about to be doing a little something that I like to call Battlefield Earth. That's gonna be coming soon. The Earth is a...
Come clear to this one.
John Travolta was young.
Earth is a battlefield.
What do you not like to call it?
Mother.
Yeah. $1 a month. We've got a ton of episodes up there that are not available on the main feed, so go check it out. Patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. This week on Harmless Phosphorescence, we're watching Dredd.
800 million people living in the ruin of the old world. Only one thing fighting for order in the chaos. Judges.
This drug's like nothing I've ever seen.
If we play this right, we can take the whole city.
Mom was controlling all of the slow-mo production and distribution.
Rookie, you ready?
Yeah.
You look ready.
Fire!
Law is not the law. I am the law.
I'm going in before you.
How do you plead?
I'm doing this for you.
Defense noted. 3D. Herbs were uncooperative. In theaters September 21st.
In 3D.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
With all the little sparkly and slow motion.
Remember that period
Glass.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Remember that period of time where every movie was 3D?
It was when
The
3D
70s.
TVs were a big thing. It was like
God.
the resurgence of it.
3D TVs.
I have a 3D TV. I've never tried it.
You've never
You
done the
should
3D.
Honestly,
Don't tell anyone.
with your 3D TV, you got to watch one thing, and it's the fucking 10 Commandments, dude, because it will hurt your brain.
Oh,
it looks
wow.
like an oil painting. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I could
Wow.
never
I bet.
watch it more than once, but it's worth checking out. I bet you those apes are cool too, though, if they got a 3D version
I
Charlton Heston's in both.
in 3D.
I have only ever seen 4 movies in the theater in 3D. I'm not a fan, personally.
I saw Jaws 3D. For the
Oh,
first time.
So
I-
jealous.
I was kind of young, but it's an indelible memory my grandparents took me.
Wow.
That's cool. That's cool. I forgot Jaws 3 in 3D was...
That's why the giant shark is so ridiculously large. You know, when they show the tubes of the people walking through the tubes underwater, the shark is about the size of a whale.
Yeah.
It's 3D.
So, Dredd was released September 21st, 2011, or 12, I'm sorry, 2012. Running time of 95 minutes. It cost $45 million, and it made $41 million. It bombed. But it has been reclaimed a bit as, I don't want to say a cult classic. I mean, I'm not sure a $45 million film could be a cult classic, but it's been reclaimed a bit.
I mean, it's kind of a hard sell, I imagine. And this one, even more than Stallone's version, is really like taking for granted that you know who he is and you know how this goes, which doesn't affect the movie, but it's probably hard to sell tickets when people are like, well, I don't know. It's not like selling Spider-Man or something.
That 90-second voiceover he has at the beginning does a lot of heavy lifting for the audience that doesn't know who he is.
It does. You're right. But I mean, to get you in the.
Anyway, I think this movie failed to market itself on you won't see his face, or will you see his face? Honestly, I know that's so tacky and such a thin thing, but they should have sold the movie on like, will we see the true face of justice or some shit? I don't know, because that's a big thing to pay a guy to not show his face in a movie.
Yeah, no, I love the fact that they got not quite A-list, but a very big actor. And then
he's big in Australia,
but he wasn't. He was just the right level that you could do that. You know, like whereas say Robert Downey Jr. They had to do the inside of the helmet. There's no way you pay that dude. But Carl Urban, he was recognizable. Already been Scotty and all that shit.
Yeah,
not Scotty. Bones. He's played Bones.
He was Bones.
And who was he in Lord of the Rings? That was his other big one prior to this.
Billy Butcher. He's all one ring to bind. Billy Butcher's fucking phenomenal.
He's all
it's his best role.
Sauron, you cunt.
I love that a New Zealander, or is he Australian? One of the two.
Yeah.
He's a Kiwi.
He's putting on the Cockney accent.
Yeah.
I just love that. He's also, it's just so good.
I don't know if I've ever heard his real accent, honestly.
Oh, you should watch press junkets for The Boys. First of all, Anthony Starr is Homelander. The camera will sometimes stay on him and he'll be smiling. The camera won't move, but he thinks it has. And he just goes to that stone Homelander face. Like, if I could laser all of you, I would.
He looks like a psycho.
With your dumb questions.
His real voice is when he's in Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Behold my stuff.
That's right. He didn't. Okay.
My
Scourge.
Stuff.
That's right.
Scourge.
With the shake weight and the AK-47s.
It didn't make a ton of money, but we still are going to play the box office top 10 game. This is the game where I will describe the top 10 movies of the week of September 1st, 2012. And the guys here are going to try to guess what movie I'm describing. So here we go at number 10 for the week of September 21st, 2012. A misunderstood boy takes on ghosts, zombies, and grown-ups to save his town from a centuries-old curse.
Is it Dredd?
Yes.
Confused. Boy. Is it animated?
Yes. It's
Monster House?
It is stop motion animated.
Oh. James and the Giant Peach?
No, that was the 90s.
No, that came out a lot earlier.
This is a Leica film. The guys did the studio
Coraline.
that did Coraline, but not Henry what's his face who did Coraline. This is Paranorman. Wasn't bad.
Wasn't that one of his original characters? Or the dog was from...
No. Tim, you're thinking Tim Burton. You're thinking of Frankenweenie. Yeah. No, Tim Burton.
Henry Selick was a protege of Tim Burton's, but definitely does his own thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if it was a protege. They were like classmates, and he like.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Tim Burton just got big, and so it's like they
Coppola and George then.
Yeah, kind of like that.
And I think there was a situation where like he Tim Burton really enjoys stop motion animation, but doesn't want to have to do it.
I think it sucks to do for him.
Yeah. Whereas Henry Selick is like, I like to spend 6 months moving something 1 millimeter at a time.
Well, and I imagine
guy.
It's hard to follow up when you've already kind of like destroyed the game for stop motion animation. Like, I can't imagine being Tim Burton being like, I've got another idea, and everybody being like, oh, how much merchandise can we sell for the next 40 years off of it?
Yeah, exactly. No, apparently Henry Selick has never really got over the fact that A Nightmare Before Christmas was titled Tim Burton's A Nightmare Before Christmas when Henry Selick wrote and directed it.
So it's like Pulp Fiction kind of vibes.
Yeah. So,
no, you mean Natural Born Killers?
Well, Pulp Fiction was also a lot of the chunks were written by his writing partner, and then it was written and directed by him.
Yeah.
I forget there was a co-writer.
James Avery, I think.
Yeah, James Avery.
Number 9 this week at the box office. Set in Depression-era Franklin County, Virginia, a trio of bootlegging brothers are threatened by a new special deputy and other authorities, angling for a cut of their profits. What do we got here? We got a LaBouffe. We got ourselves a Hardy.
Gangster. Yes, this was a gangster, like, bank robber movie.
Yeah. Well, bootlegger movie.
Right, sorry. But, like, yeah.
You're thinking of the one with Johnny Depp, I think. That was that one was actually filmed in Milwaukee. I remember when they were doing that.
Cool.
Yeah, no, this one we also got Jessica Chastain and Gary Oldman.
Yeah, I know this movie.
It's got a super generic name. It is called
Kevin.
It's called Lawless. Lawless.
The Venus story.
Yeah. At number 8 this week, a young girl buys an antique box at a yard sale, unaware that inside the collectible lives a malicious ancient spirit. If she had been aware, do you think she would have, like, still bought it?
She would have haggled.
Yeah, at least get a discount.
Yeah, totally. She's like, well, you take 50 cents. I love the use of the word lives.
Yeah.
It's not possessed or whatever. The dude lives in there.
The girl's father teams up with his ex-wife to find a way to end the curse upon their child. Imagine that phone call.
It must be a curse.
Imagine that phone call be like, Rebecca, no, the check is coming. All right, listen, we've got to talk about.
God damn it, Gary.
How many times are you going to let her get possessed?
This is your week. Deal with it.
You know I'm on vacation. I'm in Boca.
Do you remember that priest's phone number from last time? I can't find it in my my phone.
This is quote unquote based on a true story.
The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
No, but that's the genre we're in.
I saw that one and it was not that great.
Yeah.
The tagline is "Fear the demon that doesn't fear God." I'm not sure I even know what that means.
All of them.
Yeah.
All the demons do not fear God. It's kind of their thing.
Yeah. It's called The Possession.
Oh, face off and face off. So it's her possession.
And it's
There's
possession.
It works on 2 levels.
There's got to be a 9/10 of the law joke in there somewhere.
Possession. We're going to call it a canine.
That would have been hilarious. Linda Blair is like, listen.
Possession.
Yeah. At number.
That was her excuse. She's like, it's not a drug deal. I've been possessed by the devil.
I'm going to use that one.
Yeah, that's definitely my next pullover story.
Actually, I've seen videos of people using that. It doesn't work.
Why are you crying? The devil made me do it.
I feel like a little girl who's turned green sitting in a jail cell. What are you in for? Possession. At number 8 this week. I'm sorry, at number 7 this week. A naval veteran arrives home from war, unsettled and uncertain of his future, until he is tantalized by a charismatic leader. This is a...
I'm going to guess Tantalize.
I was going to guess that.
This is a PTA film.
Parent Teacher Association?
Yeah. Paul Thomas Anderson. We got ourselves a Phoenix. We got a Phil Sy Hoffman in there. It's a not quite Scientology.
Oh, The Master?
The Master, yes.
That's such a good movie.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's pretty much... I mean, it's not all of L. Ron Hubbard's story, but the part of it where he had to escape to the sea.
I love that. He had to escape to the sea.
Yeah, Scientology started on an old cargo ship.
Oh, boy. Opening at number 6 this week. In a violent, futuristic city where the police have the authority to act as judge, jury, and executioner, a cops team with a trainee to take down a gang that deals the reality-altering drug, slow-mo.
Slow-mo.
So this didn't do well with word of mouth.
Yeah.
Dredd.
Yeah. It only opens at number 6, and I don't think it goes up from there. Also, in 2012, September was a real dumping ground. There was
September.
Yeah, there was just not a lot of theater traffic. It's just way down in September.
Yeah, makes sense.
At number 5 this week, Alice fights alongside a resistance movement to regain her freedom from an evil corporation's testing facility. The tagline is "The ultimate battle begins."
Is this a what is that video game?
Resident Evil?
Yeah.
Resident Evil Retribution.
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Gonna get some retro.
Every single poster for Resident Evil is the same. It's just Mia Jovovich in like a black cat suit with guns, and then in the back everything's blowing up. Every
she's like
single poster.
Sweaty and blood streaked.
Yeah, always.
She's like one of the coolest action heroes, though, to put on a poster.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
At number 4 this week. Wow. Beating out Dredd at number 4 this week. A father searches for his son who was kidnapped. That's while technically being true, leaves out every single possible bit of identifying information, including this is a 3D re-release of a film from 10, 12 years earlier. It's animated.
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo. Yes, indeed. The Finding
Albert
Nemo.
Brooks.
Yeah. So the 3D re-release of Finding Nemo in its 3rd week does better than Dredd opening. Opening at number 3 this week. After moving with her mother to a small town, a teenager finds that an accident happened in the house at the end of the street. God damn it, it's right there.
House at the end of the street?
Yeah. I was halfway through the sentence before I realized it was the title, and I was like, oh, shit. I like things get more complicated when she befriends a boy. It's the last sentence of the description.
That seems misleading.
Yes, it truly does. Opening at number 2 this week. A daughter tries to remedy her dysfunctional relationship with her ailing father, a decorated baseball scout, by helping him in a recruiting trip, which could be his last. That's
this Clint Eastwood? Or
yeah, it's an Eastwood. Also with Amy Adams and Justin Timberlake. You know, the classic Eastwood Timberlake team up.
Not since Clyde the Arranged.
Eastwood was considered the 6th member of NSYNC.
We all know that.
It's got one of those things where it's like a baseball phrase, but it's like
okay, let's see. Pinch hit
in the hole.
Is that a baseball phrase?
The box?
Yeah,
I'm not sure how many holes there are in baseball.
Just dudes rolling their ankles.
Well, I mean,
no, you're in the hole before you're at bat, or before you're next at
on
bat.
deck. Oh yeah, on deck.
you're on deck.
Because you're either on deck, or at bat, or in the hole, or you're in the
Is
lineup.
it any of those?
It's called trouble with the curve.
Oh, that's not a baseball.
Yeah, the
Term, is that?
curveball. The curveball. Trouble with the curve.
Curveball, I guess.
Oh, huh? Is that a baseball term?
Curveball?
But trouble with the curve.
I don't know. Maybe
I mean, he's got trouble with the curveball. Like he can't throw a curve. I don't know.
He's got 99. He's got 99 problems, and the curveball is one.
At number 1 this week, opening at number 1, the daily grind of 2 young police officers in L.A. who are partners and friends, and what happens when they meet criminal forces greater than themselves.
This is Wayans and Pena, right? Oh no, that's the one where they pretend to be cops.
You got Pena. Gyllenhaal and Pena from the writer of Training Day. This wasn't bad.
Didn't this movie just come out? Wasn't this Ambulance?
Well, they're not cops in ambulance, right? They're ambulance drivers.
Oh, I thought they were cops who had to drive an ambulance. That was the twist.
I don't know. I haven't seen Ambulance.
I haven't either.
Aha! I'm in the wrong vehicle. Both city
The twist is they're stockbrokers who have to drive an ambulance.
M. Night Shyamalan.
It's called End of Watch. Yeah, it's End of Watch.
Remember that? Yeah.
That is number 1 for the week of September 21st, and that is the box office top 10 game, which brings us to the character and comic book background. We've done Dredd before, but Professor Al, would you like to remind us what's up with the what?
Yeah, just some quick refreshers. Judge Dredd character first appeared in 2000 AD, not the year. That was the British Weekly Anthology comic.
I'm going to start referring to all the years that way all the time, though.
In the year 1977 AD.
Thank you.
Or CE, as we say now.
Yeah. If there's one
in the parlance of our time,
if there's one thing I associate with Dredd, it's disco.
He's what happened to disco, I'm assuming. Co-opted by the cops, it's over.
First I was afraid. I was petrified, but then
I remember when Diana Ross sang her big hit, I Am the Law.
Judge Dredd is a street judge empowered to arrest, convict, sentence, and execute criminals.
Street judge?
A
street judge, yeah. As opposed to a bench judge, I guess.
Yeah, no, I get it, but also like it's a gang of street judges out there dancing.
Yeah, please, you can't call them street judges anymore.
Well, he dispenses street justice.
Yeah, he does.
So yeah, he's a judge. He kills criminals. He's got a fancy gun with a bunch of different ammo rounds that is voice activated.
He's all Siri.
Kill Jenna.
No, he named his gun Gun.
And his dog.
Just like his bike is named Bike.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Those are not names.
Those are names, yeah.
Yes, my chair is known as chair.
I've had people ask me, what did you name your car? I didn't. It's a car.
Yeah.
It's a Sonata, my friend.
Yeah.
Judge Dredd got his own title in 1990, Judge Dredd magazine. The character is still in publication.
I like that it's a magazine, like it's marketing to existing street judges.
Dredd magazine.
Street judge aficionado.
Yeah, it's like Boy's Life, but for street judges.
Judge's life.
Like, do you need a judge's life? Instead of a pocket knife, you can have a talking gun.
I read it for the articles.
That was about it. Character's still in publication. I think he's immortal.
Do psychics exist in the Dreddiverse?
Probably somewhere. I mean,
Judgiverse?
somewhere between 1977 and now. I'm sure psychics popped up.
Yeah.
They're bound to.
There's mutants or a thing that they mentioned also. I don't know if that's...
Yeah.
If you see one psychic, you know there's at least 200 more psychics.
Oh yeah. So this was a British publication.
Yeah.
But the storyline took place in North America or the United States, which probably wasn't the United States anymore after whatever.
It's just Mega City 1.
Political Armageddon. Mega City 1, which traversed most of the northern East coast.
It is like Alan Moore. They like to set their dystopian, like, it's in America.
Mm-hmm.
The shit will start in America, even though Britain is shat in every corner of this fucking world.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, they said from Boston to DC.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure part of that attitude is that when America fails, they'll just view it as another failed British colony.
Oh no, we'll be the ones that end the world. They're not wrong, but
but it's not their place to say so.
But they have a unique perspective on us because we were a colony. You know, like, and once we fail, they can take that on as like, yeah, you know, once we let colonies go, they fail, obviously. Because I'm sure the royals will outlive us all.
In their
not the particular royals that are alive right now, but
in their underground tubes.
The Habsburgs.
Yeah, the Habsburgs will continue.
All right. So thank you for the refresher there, Al. That brings us to the production of the film itself. While the film is technically directed by Pete Travis, who is well known for directing Vantage Point, City of Tiny Lights, and at least 4 episodes of Other People's Children.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa, wait. That's what it was called?
What?
I helped write a pilot for a soap opera spoof years ago called Other People's Children. It was based on All My Children. And we even got a meeting with the dude who was involved in MASH way back then. Didn't go further than that. I wasn't in LA. The other guys were there. That's crazy. I didn't think there was a show called that. All right.
Yeah, it's a 2000s era British TV drama.
All right.
From a 1998 novel of the same name. Yeah, but Pete Travis. So this movie is actually the child of Alex Garland. Alex Garland, screenwriter and director, writer of a lot of the Danny Boyle films. 28 Days Later, Sunshine. He's
Ex Machina.
He wrote and directed Ex Machina, this year's Civil War, Annihilation.
So that guy.
Annihilation, thank you.
Yeah.
Is that the with the chicks?
Yeah.
The bear.
Weird dimension.
Yeah.
The creepy bear.
Natalie Portman. Yeah.
Oh man, that bear is so fucked up.
Yeah.
That's also what's his face too. Duke Atreides. I can't think of his name. Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Ex Machina.
Poe.
Yeah. Poe Dameron.
Yeah.
This is just getting worse. I didn't see all those connections through that. That's interesting.
Yeah. Oscar Isaac.
Thank you.
Yes. But yeah, so Alex Garland in 2006 began writing a screenplay based on Judge Dredd. He just kind of decided he wanted to do a Judge Dredd adaptation. He's an executive producer on it. He wrote it, was intimately involved with the casting. He shepherded it through the whole process, and in the editing portion, director Pete Travis got fired, and Alex Garland took over the editing. He did reshoots, and our star Carl Urban said that this should actually be considered Alex Garland's directorial debut. Alex Garland petitioned the Directors Guild for co-director credit on this film, but they eventually came to some arbitration which did not allow for him to have a co-director credit on it.
I think they hate doing that. It's like not a common thing to see.
They really
that's why.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird like bylaws and crap in the Directors Guild with co-directing.
Like,
so he does not get co-director, but this is in essence an Alex Garland film for all intents and purposes. And you can kind of see it. Like, knowing his later films, like I see his thumbprints all over this. It was shot in South Africa, and it stars Carl Urban as Dredd. The last time we talked about Carl Urban would have been in Thor Ragnarok. But of course, as we mentioned, he's well known as Éomer in Lord of the Rings, Bones in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek verse,
and
Billy Butcher in The Boys. Yeah.
Cupid. He played Cupid. I forget which one it was on Hercules or Xena.
That's right. I have seen those. clips.
That's a deep pull.
That's funny.
He was like
both
shirtless and bleach blonde. He also on Xena played Julius Caesar
and someone named Male and someone named Core. He had multiple roles.
He's a personal trainer.
Yeah. He was in that Almost Human, that series from like 10 years ago, which I heard was good but never watched. Carl Urban. He was in Ghost Ship? Jesus. I remember that movie. It was terrible.
That was like 98, wasn't that?
2002.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Olivia Thirlby. There's an L in there. Olivia Thirlby as Cassandra Anderson, the rookie. She is, let's see. She was in United 93. Oh, Juno. That's what I know her from.
The Friend, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. She was also in, looking through here. No Strings Attached. Ugh. Not a lot. Oh, she was in Oppenheimer as Lily.
She was
Hornig.
the bomb in Oppenheimer. Sorry, I just amused myself.
Yeah. She never quite made it to A-list, but she's one of those people I'm like, oh yeah, her.
I mean, she wasn't bad. Everybody was kind of flat, but I guess you'd have to be if you're judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah.
You can't have a wacky arrow through your head thing like Steve Martin.
She was in the L Word Generation Q for the entire run of that series, which lasted one season.
The L Word Generation Q. Brought to you by the number 7. The letter.
Lena Headey as Mama Madrigal.
She was good.
Yeah, she's good. She's fucking Lena Headey. She's been in... Like, I really never clocked her prior to Cersei, but now going back, she was in so many things I've seen.
She was in 300.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that would have been the last time we talked about Lena Headey. She's fucking Lena Headey. She's awesome.
The Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I just started that because of this movie.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I watched like half of it when it was like new, and then just kind of fell off, which is a shame because it was really good. But apparently that's what a lot of people did, and then it got canceled.
I just want to be a hot single mom like Erin Brockovich or Sarah Connor.
Wood Harris as Kay. Wood Harris, kind of a character actor.
Avon Barksdale.
In what?
Yes, Avon Barksdale from The Wire.
Oh,
And what's funny is that that's also a tower that he kind of controls. I just thought that was neat.
I don't know. Yeah. He was. Let's see. His first film role was Above the Rim, which is a really good basketball movie. Remember the Titans, which is a really good football movie.
Actually, yeah, I think a little more mediocre, but Above the Rim was totally good.
Yeah. Remember the Titans? Okay, yeah. Remember the Titans?
Yeah, Remember
was
the Titans.
a pretty good football movie. Yeah.
That's true.
He was in Ant-Man.
Yes. Yeah, I was about to say he played Gale.
Yeah, that's right.
He's the cop.
Yeah. He was in Creed, Blade Runner 2049. He was in Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Somebody had to.
Yes. Ooh, and an upcoming untitled film. Thanks for telling me that, Wikipedia.
We're all in that.
Yeah. And the last notable cast member is Domhnall Gleeson as Tech Ginger.
I love that.
Is what I called him.
Yeah, I like everything he's done.
Yeah,
He was a surprise to see, and he brings a lot to this boring character.
yeah, he does. Domhnall Gleeson. Maybe best
Weasley.
General Hux. Yeah, he was a Weasley. General Hux.
Also, Ex Machina.
Yeah.
He was in the movie about the National Lampoon. He was in A Futile and Stupid Gesture.
That's right.
He's the other guy with Doug Kenny that started it, and he's so good. And by the way, the character is a real guy, but he reminds me of Al. You should see it up.
Yeah, he those are his biggest roles. That's about it for the background. There's not a whole lot to this film getting made. The Alex Garland stuff is kind of the biggest point there. It has.
I stepped away for a second. Did we mention that the creator of Judge Dredd, John Wagner, was a consultant on the film?
I did not mention that. Good for him.
Yeah.
Get that paycheck.
Did he get the same offer on the first one?
I'm not sure that he did.
I don't think Sylvester Stallone consulted with anybody.
I was gonna say I don't know how he takes notes. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
What was the budget for this movie again? It was 40 something.
45.
What was the budget for the first one?
Oh, probably more than 45.
Right?
At the time, yeah.
90 million.
Yeah.
So double that. That's interesting.
And this one is
no computers.
Well, a lot
less computers,
and a good chunk of that budget, I'm sure, was Sly's fee.
Yeah. Well, and they did all kinds of the big robots and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Armand Asante is probably not cheap too.
Yeah.
They flew out into the desert.
Yeah. The desert's not cheap.
There was a plane crash.
They had to feed Rob Schneider raw fish, throwing it in the air while he claps his hands. Yeah. So this film has 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, and have a number of Letterboxd reviews here. David Chen who is actually a fairly well-known film critic, writes, "Some of the best mouth acting I've ever seen." 4.5 stars.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many comments throughout the movie. I was just muttering under my breath. Look at his face. He's so mad. He's so satisfied. He's so
Carl Urban
frustrated.
was able to get that frown exactly
that
right.
Frown is so intense. Like, just looking at
comic accurate.
Like, I honestly did not recognize Carl Urban's mouth as Carl Urban.
This is a fun movie to watch with a friend because I found myself looking over and making faces at Katie. We were both making the same face. Like, because his faces are so entertaining.
You have a whorish mouth.
Letterboxd user Jay writes, "Does Carl Urban call his costume department his Urban Outfitters?" 4 stars.
That dude made an account to say that. Brilliant.
Letterboxd user Matt Lynch writes, "You can shove your RoboCop remake right up your ass." 4 stars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's about it, guys. We ready to jump into the movie?
Right?
Fail.
Off that thing for 100 stories. 200 stories.
Yeah. Skin me
Face
alive
first.
and throw me into the atrium.
That's what it's for, right?
Yeah,
That's what atriums are for.
that is. Here we go. This is Dredd. We open on a giant city. It's the year 2080. A voiceover tells us that most of the United States is a dystopian post-nuclear wasteland. On the East Coast,
Worry, they built a wall.
yeah. On the East Coast, we've got Mega City 1. It stretches from, as we said, Boston to D.C. There's 800 million residents.
And still no commuter train.
Yeah.
I like the idea that all of those people live in the one spot that would get nuked first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it is funny that that's what's left. So they nuked Kansas.
Yeah, let's be clear. The area, the part of America that'd be the safest would probably be like that central, like Oklahoma would probably be pretty okay.
There's nowhere safe, man. Canada is the only safe place in America.
Fair.
We used to be on the list with the Titan missiles and all that shit.
Yeah, I mean,
the B-2s and stuff out of the Air Force Base.
Yeah, Davis Monthan still keeps us there, I think.
Oh yeah. It won't be fun.
So.
Um,
Nuclear war? No,
not really for anybody.
I'm going to walk right into it. I'll tell you that.
Despite what Fallout tells us, it's not going to be a romp.
Well, because on the other side, if there is order, it's Judge Dredd.
Yes. Yeah. So this city leads to some questions, but we'll go as we go.
Yes. Yeah. He tells us about the only force for order, which are the judge, jury, and executioner. It's an all-in-one solution. Judge Dredd suits up, gets ready for his day.
Imagine how much they save on paperwork.
He mentioned, he mentions paperwork. So you're the judge, jury, and the executioner. Who's getting the paperwork?
I think it's just a clock in, clock out kind of thing. He's like, anything more than that, oh, man.
Well, at one point he tells the guys, like, you want to save me some paperwork.
It's true.
But then we see a guy with like cybernetic eyes, but somebody's doing paperwork somewhere in an office.
But well, no. I guess if he doesn't kill them, it leads to paperwork, which there's a simple solution for that.
Yeah. All right.
I guess the ISO cubes was an option.
Yeah.
Throughout, death wasn't the only sentence.
It's fascinating because judge, jury, executioner. Dredd is doing more than that once he takes him hostage because he's then detective. There's no detecting or solving crimes. It's just administering justice in this world.
Mm.
It's interesting that he chooses to solve. He's like, there's a bigger crime. Like, just kill this guy.
And it's the inevitable end of, lawmakers make laws. That's what they do. It's in their name.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they got to keep making laws, and you eventually get to the point where almost everything's a crime.
Yep. So we get our title card, and Dredd gets on his fancy ass motorcycle and chases some guys in a van who are on a drug called slow-mo. It makes everything feel slow.
This is a great drug idea. It's very cool.
It is, but it's also fun. It's like, do you want to escape your miserable life? We're going to slow down your miserable
Yeah, they don't
life.
mention that there's any narcotic effect, only slowing down. I assume there's some narcotic effect.
I think it's implied because everybody's just zoned out for the,
It reminds me of
The
huffing.
sparkles.
Yeah.
Yeah, sparkles will do it.
Spark,
I've seen
yeah.
My Little Pony.
So
Drug addicts all. Yeah. It reminds me of huffing, or something like that, where you get the nitrous. You get that second of.
yeah, I would point out that this is a very expensive drug to produce simply because there's a single-use inhaler for every single dose.
I don't think that it's expensive to produce necessarily. It's expensive to buy.
Well,
and to manufacture.
No, those
in the
fucking
sense
inhalers,
of
there's
right.
glass and plastic. Like that delivery
Glass
system,
vial.
it ain't cheap. It's not a baggie.
That's true.
That's true. Foil in a straw.
Yeah.
Are they single use? Because every time they used one, there was a lot of juice left in there.
But they kept doing they do like a puff and then it gets thrown away.
I think it's
Yes.
I think it's like a glow stick. Is what I assumed was that it's
Once you
crack
break the seal.
you crack it and the chemical mixture happens and you get all the juice out of it then.
Jude, big takeaway from this is it's like a Zack Snyder film if he knew how to make good movies.
Tell Jude that's rad. I'm totally with him.
There's a reason for slow motion in this movie. By God,
an
I'll
actual
buy it.
narrative purpose. Yes. It's not just happening because look cool. He chases them. They start shooting. The van ends up crashing, and he chases one guy into one of the big slum buildings.
So they hit a guy, and he goes, "They hit a person. I'm gonna take him down." Like he has clear lines of engagement himself that he's following.
Yeah, he's
Still
not
fascist.
just willy-nilly. Yeah.
Because I guess you'd have to stick to the book if you are the book, I guess.
Yeah. The guy runs into. So these giant buildings basically have a mall on the bottom floor,
Basically,
with like a
they're-
food court.
That's what it's like in China, and they have these self-contained mega buildings.
Let's be
you know,
clear.
almost like little cities.
This is what liberal America wants. It's a contained walkable city.
Yeah,
A walkable city center with a sense of community.
From
If you have
Boston to DC.
if you have everything you need in your building, where are all those people driving?
Oh well, they're not inside
on
those
the mega
ecosystems.
interstates.
They're
mega
out. They're not
highways.
in the. They're supporting the ecosystems of the towers. Was what I assumed.
Well, yeah, and the
Okay.
mega towers are mostly like slums and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not like I feel like all this like people do live in like smaller buildings and houses out and among it that are like better off.
Yeah, we didn't see the rich people, in Virginia or whatever.
Like the judges don't live in those
Yeah.
kind of buildings. They live in their
That
judge house.
makes sense. Yeah.
I assume they all have one big judge house where they have like parties.
well, we did
Like
see it.
it's an
That's the
MTV
plan.
reality.
They have a tower.
Hall of Justice. Yeah.
Well, I thought
They
that
might
was
have
where they
apartments.
worked. Do they live there?
Yeah,
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
huge.
Mm.
Again,
Yeah, he's-
for all the paperwork, I guess.
He's getting dressed in that same place. Like we don't see him leave his house.
I thought that was his locker room. Like, why is there always
Yeah.
like locker and showers at police stations and movies? Do police stations really have lockers and showers? I guess they have
Yes.
lockers.
It's a
Fire
24
department.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
fair. Okay,
You
that's
get-
fair.
You get fluids on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. From when they're kissing each other, they got to have a place to kiss, you know?
When they're kissing each other.
Like, I'm going to use the kiss and shower this time. Steve, you coming?
You coming?
They don't call them partners for nothing.
Yeah.
Watch my six.
So, the perp takes a hostage.
You say wash my six?
Yeah. Oh, wash.
Wash my six.
I said it now.
Woo! The perp takes a hostage and Dredd kills him with like a fancy fire explode, like sparky bullet in the mouth.
He called it the hot shot.
Yeah.
There was one thing I noticed from the research. The hot shot was more of a heat seeker.
Mm.
I liked the hot shot thing because the talking to your gun to change your bullets thing. We now live in a world where we talk to our stuff and it doesn't always work.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked him calling the guy a name and it also changing to the bullet at the same time.
Yeah.
It was very clever. I thought that was a really clever thing because otherwise it's dumb. It's like slow motion for no reason. Like, why'd you call him hot shot? Oh, well, shit. What does that mean?
Yeah. So
he doesn't have much to work with is what I'm saying. He's got to make jokes somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got to have that dry, cool wit if you're going to be a judge. Back at judge headquarters, the chief judge wants Dredd to assess a new recruit named Cassandra Anderson. She didn't do great on her tests, but it's revealed she's psychic. She's a mutant. She was raised near the walls and the radiation killed her parents and I assume gave her psychic abilities. They don't state that explicitly, but it seems implied.
This character is perfect for a Judge Dredd movie. The guy who has no feelings and wears a mask and hides his face the whole time. Having someone who can read the victims and the standard passersby's minds is such a fucking genius choice for this character.
Yeah.
Compare this to Rob Schneider, who was catching fish in his mouth in between shots because he wouldn't otherwise feed himself. Allegedly.
Rob Schneider is the Schneider.
The seal.
The worst.
Absolute worst. So the chief thinks she could be a good judge because of her psychic powers. That seems like a very logical leap. Like, that's not crazy. Like, yeah.
That's a useful ability.
Yes.
Yeah. And Dredd is given the assignment for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Because he's the title character.
Well, yeah, I mean, because the movie has to happen, obviously.
But
no, like, because he is the law. Like, he truly is. He is the Boy Scout of Boy Scouts. He's their universe's Captain America, even though he's just shooting people in the face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's the most upstanding later on when we get the crooked judges, they're like, we know who, like, you don't know which judge that is. It's going to cost you $1 million.
Yeah. This story just really found ways to make Judge Dredd be a hero, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seemed like a Serpico character.
Yeah.
The rest of the force didn't trust him because he was too by the book kind of thing.
Well, and
whereas the last one was Rambo, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and this one is Serpico. Serpico's perfect. Yeah.
Well, and like later on, he doesn't kill the kids that pull guns on him. He just stuns them.
Well, and they think they're going to get killed up until the moment when he doesn't kill them, which is instead of him being like, set it to stun, these are kids. He's cold-blooded the whole time. I love that sequence too. Anyways.
Saying Serpico reminded me that the chase in the beginning reminded me of the French Connection a lot, especially when they were going under the elevated trains and things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's not the strongest part of the movie. That's for sure. It's it's interesting because the world they live in is so disjointed. Like Al, you were asking, somebody was asking about, like, what do the people outside do? Like, the traffic is very thin for a world with almost 1 billion people in it. It was interesting.
That's true. It is.
It felt like South Africa, honestly.
It's because they made the highways so wide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and they have elevated
Traffic
highways
looks
too.
thinner.
Maybe they finally solved traffic.
That's true.
Like we live in a post-nuclear wasteland.
That's what
but
we need.
solved traffic.
A nuclear war, you know?
That's just what we need, Brian.
I enjoyed Fallout. I don't know.
We can't all be vault dwellers. Some of us have to be the ghoul.
Oh, none of us are going to be vault dwellers. I'm drinking that water, baby.
Yeah, I don't want to. Like worse than what it is right now. No, I don't want to survive. Are you kidding me? We're almost there.
So, we cut to a 200-story slum tower block called Peach Trees. We meet drug lord Mama. She has 3 drug dealers who were dealing for a different gang leader in her building. So she has them skinned.
That's a mama no-no.
Mama says no.
Mama look a boo-boo.
So she has them skinned and thrown down the atrium while given slow-mo. Then we cut back to the judges starting her day of being assessed. Dredd lets Anderson choose what call to take. She chooses the peach trees.
She's a psychic and the movie had to happen.
Yes. Dredd and Anderson arrive to investigate. The doctor who's stationed in the building tells them about Mama, who runs the building. And they decide to find out where the perps who killed the dealers operate and raid them. In the raid, they kill a bunch of people and arrest Mama's henchman, Kay. Anderson uses her psychicness to figure out that he was involved in the executions, and they decide to take him in for questioning.
I love this movie so much for the choices that they made. The casting of Avon Barksdale is a choice. He's shorthand for you don't snitch. Because he's Avon Barksdale from The Wire. That's my 2 cents on the casting choice of him and putting him in this position as the character that they drag around being like, you're going to snitch on these people. But he doesn't even have to snitch because she's a psychic. Like, it sets up so well. It's such a great thing that they move along throughout the movie. Anyways, thought it was a cool choice.
Mama gets word that he was arrested and decides she can't let him be questioned. She has her people take over the tower's security control room. And with the help of her tech ginger, she seals up the building using its nuclear blast shields to prevent the judges from leaving or getting help or communicate with the outside. And there's they tell them it's a test, like a nuke test, so that no one will respond to calls there.
That poor homeless dude.
Oh, yeah, that got squished by the door.
He just picked the wrong spot.
He really should have left, like Judge told him to.
He was warned.
Yep.
And thus begins Die Hard in the future.
Yeah.
Except he has to go up.
That's true. Instead of coming down. It's even worse because he has to go all the way up to the top of the 200 floors.
Going up is always worse.
Yeah.
This was very much like...
Sorry. Tell me when we get to floor 200. I'm going to puke.
This was very much like The Raid. Again, have any of you seen The Raid? I think we talked about this before. It's an Indonesian film. Really fucking good. It's this exact thing. A group of cops are trying to get to the top of a building to arrest a drug lord, and the drug lord tells everyone in the building, kill them, and I'll give you $1 million or whatever.
Oh,
the Indonesian.
I've seen that.
Yeah, good fucking movie. Came out the same year as this, and very similar premise.
Yeah, far out.
So, okay, she gets on the intercom and tells the residents to kill the judges or hide. They have to fight their way through a bunch of the armed residents. They get to the medical facility, which is locked down and armored, but the doctor refuses to let them in, as that would bring down the wrath of Mama on him.
Smart tactically for the doctor, because if he dies, anybody that gets shot or injured can't get medical care while the building is locked down. Just saying.
Yeah.
Morally acceptable choice. Can't fault him.
Yeah, and he's also like, I don't think you're gonna win. So I'm saying, like, it's not
as cold-blooded, but I mean,
if there was a raid with drug dealers, I'm not calling my doctor.
Yeah,
to help me. with the raid.
Yeah.
Well, and ultimately he wanted to hole up with the what's his called the witness guy, right? That was the goal.
Yeah, to hole up there and thinking that they'd
And wait
be able
until
to
they could get back up.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know how long that would have been. Like I think they probably would have gotten in there. Like they had the
machine guns.
The machine guns. They were So instead they decide to go up to the 76th floor to unlock the building. They get there, and that's when they have the rotary guns. They kill hundreds of people trying to get Judge and the two judges. Like they just tear up an entire floor with the rotary cannons.
Well, and at this point, Dredd has killed 30 plus men.
Yeah.
If we were to go through blow by blow, he is just.
I'm not
stepping through crowds of people.
I'm not going through kill by kill. We would be here forever.
That's what I mean. A hell of a day.
He is just. If I were them too, I'd be like, somebody. We have a nuclear weapon or something. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. This is.
So there was the woman Kathy in the apartment.
Oh yeah.
She's the one who told them that the service elevator says it's broken, but it does work as long as you're going above the 75th level.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the buttons below 75 don't work or something like that.
It is a great device.
Yeah. But also her husband is the dude that Anderson shot. The one dude that Anderson executed.
In her
first
face.
kill.
Yeah.
Her first kill.
Who begged for mercy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then, I love that she has an arc, and it's subtle, but of course Dredd himself also has an arc.
Yeah.
She makes that possible. He sees her reacting.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to have questions because this movie explain. I saw you forgot your helmet. Well, the helmet interrupts her psychic ability, which she mentioned. It explains itself.
Yeah, and I love that it explained itself. Why is the pretty girl not wearing a helmet? Because I'm a psychic.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. A bullet. But I'm a psychic. I'm useless without my psychic abilities.
Yeah, without my psychic abilities, I'm just a
I'm
rookie
just a person.
judge who doesn't know anything. Yeah.
Which pays off so satisfyingly later on in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, leaving your helmet is not a fail. It wasn't on the list, apparently.
Yeah.
Dredd's just weird about it. He just has to wear it all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I assume it's, I don't know about bulletproof, but it's definitely bullet resistant.
Well, and there's something about cops masking in a fascist world where it removes their identity. They're no longer civilians working. They are the law itself. It's
that was dope in Watchmen.
Yeah, and Watchmen was a perfect way to exemplify that idea that at a certain point,
it's for their safety.
They're hiding their identities for their own safety. Heavy on the air quotes for their own safety thing.
Well, I mean, if they didn't, yeah.
But in that, they make perfect sense in the Watchmen because they are being targeted. It's so,
I mean, why do you think all the white supremacists hide their face? Otherwise, we'd recognize that, hey, you're not in your usual uniform. You're in another uniform.
Well, and don't forget, quote unquote, justice is blind.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They don't want you to look them in the eye as they impose their sentence upon you.
Yep.
Like we're supposed to be able to, confront our accuser. That's a very big part of our system.
Removing humanity in both directions is pretty damn effective.
Look me in the scowl.
Focus on my lips.
It's the most magnificent scowl I think I've ever seen on screen.
It really is.
Yeah.
He nailed it.
The rotary cannons tear up the walls. There's also right before that happened is when Kay is trying to mess with Anderson by envisioning raping her. The rotary cannons.
This is a fascinating setup, though, because he realizes that it's a two-way road.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a really cool way to examine psychic abilities instead of just her being able to peek into people's brains.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so.
Good choices. Lots of good choices.
Yeah, it's almost like this Alex Garland guy knows how to write a good movie. So yeah, they are able to get through an outer wall onto the half pipe, the kids skating half pipe, which was set up earlier. Being outside the building, they're able to call for backup. They can't stay there, though, as there's nowhere to hide or defend if they're found, so they have to go back into the building. Back inside, they find an empty schoolroom, and Dredd starts beating up Kay for information.
There are 5 states. There are 5 stars on that flag.
Oh,
which
interesting.
I thought was interesting. So there are 5 states remaining. 13 colonies, still 13 stripes, but 5 states. So each megacity constitutes a state under whatever federal government, and the police, I assume, are federalized. It's just my assumption from the quick glance in the classroom.
Interesting. Yeah, so they Dredd figures that Mama didn't want him interrogated, so he starts trying to beat him up for info. Anderson says, hey, I can just psychic him. And so she goes into his mind.
Judge Dredd is not a good detective.
No, he's not.
He's trying to be a detective, but he is not a good detective. And I love that. It's a choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, why are you torturing him? What are you, stupid? I'm a psychic.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. This is your first day being a detective? Oh, wait. You're a judge.
Yeah. No, he usually like someone died. Okay, time to kill you. And that's his job.
People deliver you the evidence. You don't go looking for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, because like they said, there's over 17,000 serious crimes per day. And so he doesn't have to look far. His job is all around him.
They can only answer 6% of them, which is fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how do you choose?
Yeah.
You know, especially when everyone's a judge and not a detective.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to improve.
Well, it's like
by detecting.
Like, yeah. Yeah, you don't need detectives when you just walk out your door and there's the crime. It's like
I'm not doing Judge Dredd apologia, but I think that's his revolutionary act, is trying to figure out who's actually doing crimes instead of just serving justice on the spot to everyone.
Interesting. Yeah, no.
I spent the whole time going, this movie is just the fascist nightmare to me. And I was like, but wait, there's something, there's light in here somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's what makes him a little different is he is actually trying to do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stated earlier, when he first meets Anderson, or when they set off, she says that she wants to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And his one-word response, admirable.
I think that he does see her naivety as like not a bad thing necessarily. Too,
no,
which is interesting.
That's the funny thing, is that Judge Dredd is the least jaded of the judges.
Yes.
He still thinks the system works.
Yeah,
and can work,
or can work, even if he doesn't think
can
it
work
does
if
work.
you just follow the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the rest of them are the LAPD.
Yeah,
Do what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just joined the richest gang.
So basically, she finds out that Mama is the center of slow-mo production and distribution.
She makes him piss his pants.
Yeah, yeah.
Because she made him envision Mama biting off his dick.
Well, and more. That was just the beginning of her like psychic salvo against him. That was
they didn't show 99% of what she did to him.
Yeah, which I thought was really cool. She definitely gave him a lot of reasons to be as mad as he is.
She John D's him. For that is a Sandman reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that over his shoulder shot is incredible.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, I'm still here.
Yeah. Yes. So after this, Anderson recommends they find a place to hole up and wait for backup to arrive, but Dredd says they're going to go after Mama. Meanwhile, outside, two judges arrive. They are Judges Volt and Guthrie. I have to...
My favorite folk duo.
Yeah, Volt and Guthrie. But then Mama's tech ginger convinces them the shields are malfunctioning and can't be opened. So they just wait around.
Which the classic cop trope of, should we chase them? No, we should sit here and eat our donuts instead.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they had been sitting in their car when this had happened, honestly.
Yeah. Dredd and Anderson head out. This is where...
Hey, Guthrie, give me two.
A pair of armed kids confront them. This is where he stuns them. While they're distracted, Kay gets his arms to the front and manages to take Anderson hostage. Gets her gun. It was interesting here that he was able to use her gun because he just stuck his hand in there and used her finger. So the DNA is still...
Mm-hmm.
I love that detail.
But it's interesting that he didn't realize that's what he was doing, because later on...
right.
Yeah, he tries to use that and it blows up on him. So that was just blind luck on his part. So they take her... He takes her up to Mama's base on the top floor. He wants to rape and torture her, but Mama tells them they need to stage her death to look clean, so when they open up the building to the other judges, they think it was just a minor incident gone wrong.
Which is so smart. For someone as cold-blooded as she is, she's cold-blooded because she's cunning instead of just being evil.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
She's a good villain.
Yeah, very good. It's interesting too how we see, like, there's the like we just get the tiniest touches of like her background and stuff, and there's like we see pictures of her before the scars, and then there's the scars, and it's like points to a really interesting backstory that isn't explicitly told.
Killed her pimp and took his kingdom.
Yeah.
That's about as cool as it gets.
She has arch villain type vibes for being only in this movie and just introduced. Like, she seems like an iconic villain somehow.
Yeah.
And she's got reason to view other people as casualties that are acceptable, because she was like less than a normal person, because she was a sex worker. It's a fascinating. I was like, damn, what a good choices. Great choices.
Yep. So Dredd hacks into the building's intercom system. Mama lets him do it so they can locate him. He tells residents to stay out of his way while he gets to Mama. They locate him and send a hit squad, but Dredd kills them all. At this point, Mama decides to call in some corrupt judges. They dismiss Volt and Guthrie and enter the building.
Comedy.
Yes.
They're like, open up. You're dismissed.
Yeah. They tell Mama they'll kill Dredd for 1 million credits. That was the one thing that I find annoying in future movies when it's credits. You know you're going to have some sort of word or slang for it. Even in Star Wars, it slightly bugs me. But at least they say Republic credits.
Well, I think the credit thing being a centralized thing that's a fixed volume, like a value, it doesn't inflate. Was kind of always my thought with like a credit thing, is its value is truly fixed through inflation.
It's not.
Fluctuation.
It's never going to be. No, it's never going to be.
Yeah. Well, that's the fascist dystopian ideal, though, is that we can fix our money somehow.
Yeah. But even if but even if they did call it credits because they just want to be very like dry.
Oh yeah,
people would be calling
it scratch or something.
Yeah, scratch, creds, something. Yeah. So so they tell her they should kill Anderson right away. Kay and
I love how surprised they were that she's still alive. Make her dead. Like, what? What do you mean she's still alive? You guys are crazy.
Kill her. Just kill her. Kay tries to kill her with her lawgiver gun, but it blows up. Destroys his arm. Anderson kills him. and escapes, killing one of the other bad judges, and reads her mind. Not in that order.
So, because we were just talking about how good a character Mama was, I tried to find if she was in the comics, and from what I see, she was not. And yes, I should have done my homework before, but Judge Anderson was a prominent character in the comics and psychic.
Okay.
That makes perfect sense.
Her first appearing in February of 1980.
So Dredd runs into one of the corrupt judges, realizes he's on the take and kills him. He gets chased by the last two. He kills one.
He catches it because you got a call from one judge, right?
Yeah.
Like he knew that she was dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He didn't specifically say, I watched this a couple times. He said your call for backup. But the thing that tips him off is that, what was his name? Alvarez, I think. Didn't ask about the other one.
Yeah.
Right. He assumed she'd been neutralized.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she'd been.
Or
He'd been told.
acted.
He'd been told specifically that she was captured.
Right. I mean, like him not mentioning the other judge, means he already had that or presumed that.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry. I just read that the slow-mo theme, the little thing that plays every time slow-mo is slow mowing, was a pirated Justin Bieber song that the Jeff Barrow from Portishead remixed without permission.
Without Clint Eastwood's permission?
Yeah.
Or
Whoa.
So, all right, they, so the head bad judge, whose name is Lex, manages to shoot Dredd in the side. He's about to kill Dredd
with the armor-piercing bullets.
Yeah,
go through the wall.
Yeah, went through the wall and his armor. He's about to kill Dredd. But Dredd stalls Lex long enough for Anderson to kill Lex.
I thought that was really cool. All Dredd says is wait. And then this guy goes into his diatribe long enough for Anderson to sneak up on him.
Yeah,
so I'm curious about this. Did he see her? Did he see her and she was like, I don't have a gun yet. Let me go get a gun. Just stall him. Because this is really weird character-wise for Dredd to be like, hey.
Well, she did already have a gun because she just shot the female judge.
Yeah.
It seemed like
Judge Judy.
It seemed like he saw her, but he wanted to wait until she had to quietly get into a position where she knew she was going to be able to hit him between his armor.
That makes sense. It was weird that they didn't show us her, but Dredd saw her, and that's like super heavily implied.
Yeah. It's cool. This guy, I know it's like the villain monologue that gets him killed, but also he has just been itching to tell Dredd off for years. He's stuck up, pompous, self-important asshole.
Yes.
Yeah. You're the reason why I have to be careful doing this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I've hated you for so long and now I get to tell you about it. She kills him. Then they find our tech Ginger, and she gets the access code to Mama's apartment from him, and then releases him after seeing that he was tortured. Dredd tells her that she released a suspect, and so that's a fail point and a crime. But she tells him she already failed the assessment by being disarmed, and the tech Ginger is a victim. And that was her judgment to let him go. The judges get into Mama's apartment. They kill most of her enforcers. Anderson does get shot and wounded. Mama reveals that she has a device on her wrist that will detonate explosives on the top floors, destroying the building and killing everybody. That's hooked up to her heartbeat, and that if she dies, it will go off. It's a trigger.
A dead man's switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yes.
Which is kind of cool. Instead of it being a handheld, hold it in your hand when you die, you let go.
Mm-hmm. So Dredd instead just wounds her, makes her take slow-mo, and throws her down the atrium, figuring that the signal from the bottom floor will be too weak to reach the explosives on the top floor. She dies, and the judges leave Peachtree. I like him patching her up in the elevator. Just as reinforcements arrive, Anderson assumes that Dredd tells Anderson her assessment's complete. She assumes she failed because of the aforementioned losing the gun and all that. She gives her badge back and then starts to leave. The chief asks Dredd how she did, and he says she passed. Credits roll.
Yeah, tight little movie.
Yeah, real good, tight movie.
Visually stimulating for being in one dark location, you know.
Yeah. It didn't feel like the same location over and over and over again.
Yeah,
So-
even though it wasn't decorated or anything, it was just concrete slabs.
Yeah, stylistically interesting, good action you could follow, character development, like just a good movie.
Not really any holes.
Yeah, I don't have any unanswered questions.
Yeah.
Paperwork.
Paperwork.
I'll die on that hill.
I can't reiterate how much having a psychic as the insert character is important in this movie.
Yeah, it helped a lot.
His dialogue, you have to make jokes like Rob Schneider to talk to Dredd. Like, you don't say a lot, do you, guy? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so glad that it was her just questioning, like, why is he making these choices? What? Ooh, that makes sense, I guess. Fuck, do I have to shoot this guy? Ugh. Seeing that perspective was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, just, character-wise tight, plot-wise tight, world-building tight, just good.
Her arc, by the end, she's almost more badass than he is. She got her primary weapon taken away, but worked her way out of that. The ID thing with the gun was so satisfying.
Yeah.
It's a good thing he didn't shoot the gun with his own finger earlier, because her hand, she would be dead too.
Yeah.
If the gun just explodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, she just at the end, are you ready? You look ready. And she just rolls in there like a badass.
Yeah.
And
she's like, I'm done feeling. I want to kick some ass. I want to kick some ass now.
She was able to convey, because she mentions that orphans generally are given the test to see, because for whatever reason, and she never passed any of that stuff. So we could assume in the beginning that she never even really wanted to do this. They found out she was a psychic, and she was able to convey that. Creating that arc. So at the end, she thinks she didn't make it, but at the end, she is a judge.
Yeah. Well, but she was able to retain, in the end, she did actually make a difference for Domhnall Gleeson.
Yes.
That was her making a difference.
Yeah, like she said, that's also justice, is finding someone not guilty, advocating for the victim who had no choice.
So
that's also justice. Sorry, go ahead.
In the comics, she actually was such a popular character that she got her own series in 1988 called Anderson Psi Division.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I wish that this had done better and gotten a sequel, because it's cool, the idea of them now knowing that the judges are compromised and they have a psychic.
Yeah.
That can go back with Dredd to the tower.
Yeah.
And be like, all right, we're going to clean this place up. I don't know.
Minority Report type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just spending a couple of days listening at the lunch table, being like, oh, okay, let's go check out that tower. We can go kill all those guys too.
Apart from the box office dollars, this movie was incredibly sequel worthy.
Very sequel worthy. People have been calling for a sequel for years now. It's definitely found its audience on streaming.
It's just very uncomplicated, and I appreciate that. So much is convoluted in the world of fiction and fantasy these days.
I'm so happy he wasn't trying to save the world or save the city. There wasn't some big overarching, they're gonna, I've got to take down the governor of mega city.
Right.
It was contained. He didn't.
Yep.
He didn't get shipped off to prison in Colorado.
Right.
Aspen.
Forgot all of them. Yeah, it was contained.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's it. Any final thoughts, guys?
Well,
I wouldn't want to live in this world.
Oh no. No. Yeah. So, usually we do the thumbs. It sounds like there's not a whole lot of ambiguity here. We're all up on this one.
Yeah. Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Can I give it 2?
Two. You got two thumbs.
Buddy.
I got 2 thumbs.
Yeah.
Can I give him
We won't
got
count
to.
the second one, but you can do whatever you want.
Yes.
That's your thumb, buddy.
You can do anything you want with your thumbs.
Really?
Almost
You got us
anything.
out of the trees.
Yeah. So, all right. That is it then for us. That is the end of Dredd. Next time on Harmless Phosphorescence, we're going to be watching Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
That will be the end of our non-superhero comic book series.
Wow.
After that, we'll be heading back into our mainline superhero ones, picking up with all of our 2023 movies into our 2024. So be catching up there after that. So until then, thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. This has been one of your hosts, Thoreau Smiley. And I'm not going to lie, 3 weeks in an isolation cube doesn't sound terrible.
Hey, I'm Josh Cece, and I'm pretty sure that I have been on slow-mo for the last 30 years.
People go in one end and meat comes out the other. I'm Meat, Brian Lesh.
Your assessment's now over. I'm Alaric Weber.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.